Yeah. Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
The term caffeine originated from the German and French word café that directly means coffee. Caffeine is a naturally occurring stimulant that is isolated from over 60 plants, but in its pure form becomes a white powder. Today I'm going to inform you about the aspects of caffeine, and we're going to talk about the history, how it's used today, and the effects of caffeine on the body. If you rely on caffeine every day, you're not the only one. I drink coffee every morning, but I never thought how it was discovered, the way we use it, and how it affects our body. Now that we know where the word caffeine comes from, let's take a closer look at caffeine and where it was discovered. It was discovered thousands of years ago. According to the Vaults of Irwood, gives a good timeline of important events in caffeine's history. Anthropologists believe that in the Stone Age, people chewed on bark, leaves, and seeds to relieve their fatigue. Another myth comes from Mongolia, where a tea was said to have dropped from a tree and into a hot cup of water, which produced tea. Also, a goat farmer in Ethiopia said that he discovered the coffee bean in 850 AD. When his goats ate the wild berries, they became restless. These wild berries became the coffee bean. There have been many aspects in history that led to caffeine today. In the 1600s, coffee houses were developed all throughout Europe. At the same time, coffee was introduced to the New World. After this, other caffeinated drinks grew in popularity. In 1821, caffeine was extracted into its pure form. Today, this leads to other soft drinks and energy drinks. But most importantly, Starbucks opened in 1971 in Seattle. Caffeine has taken on many forms since the Stone Age. Caffeine today can be found in caffeine pills, drinks, and even gum. CNN reports that in May of 2013, Wrigley created a gum that has caffeine in it, but it was removed due to adverse effects on the consumers. Caffeine production has increased since its early discovery. Gilbert RM published a paper about caffeine consumption and states that coffee accounts for 54% of all caffeine use. Also, coffee is produced in 80 other countries, mostly in South America, Central America, Africa, and Asia. There are 4 types of teas: black, green, white, and oolong. These are produced in China, India, and Japan. According to Report Linker, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, Russia, UK, and the United States generated almost $291 billion in soft drink in 2012. Some average trends of caffeine consumption. There's some statistics for caffeine intake taken by the article Caffeine Intake by U.S. Population. The U.S. daily caffeine consumption consists of 300 milligrams per day. The average cup of coffee is only 95 milligrams. According to Energy Fiends, Sweden, Denmark, Norway averages almost 400 milligrams per day. As coffee shops expand and new energy drinks are on the rise, caffeine is becoming so popular. So what are some of the side effects? Medline Plus explains health effects of caffeine consumption. On average, 2 to 4 cups of coffee are not harmful. Also, caffeine stimulates the central nervous system. It alleviates fatigue, increases wakefulness, and improves concentration and focus. Also, caffeine relieves headaches as it dilates the blood vessels to relieve pressure in your brain. Now that we've heard some positive side effects of caffeine, let's look at some of the negative effects. Some negative effects of caffeine are fast heart rate, anxiety, depression, difficulty in sleeping, nausea, restfulness, tremors, and vomiting. Also, caffeine may interfere with the sleep cycle because it's a stimulant. If you're taking any kinds of medication, sometimes that can interfere with the effects of caffeine and increase its unwanted effects. After learning about the effects of caffeine, think about how that 1 cup of coffee or Coke can affect you. We have just learned about the aspects of caffeine. We've talked about the history, how caffeine is used today, and the health effects of caffeine. I, for one, will not change my caffeine intake routine in the morning, but since its discovery, caffeine has been stimulating our central nervous systems, alleviating our fatigue, and increasing our focus. Today it's found in drinks, pills, and gum. What will they think of next?